Welcome everyone. You have asked me to create an instructional video on how to make a Merganser. Therefore, in answer to your requests, I would like to now demonstrate how we make a Merganser airplane following the instructions that you were given in the PowerPoint in class. Let me just draw your attention to some of the materials that we'll use. I'm going to use a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, similar to copy paper. This isn't the paper we'll use when we actually make the planes, but it's close enough for our practice purposes. So just a regular piece of copy paper. I have a glue stick. I've experimented with a lot of different brands, and believe it or not, this is the best one for our purposes. We have a pencil, a pair of kindergarten scissors with which you should not be able to harm yourselves. Thank you very much. And a standard ruler. Make sure that it has inches on it. I've mentioned this in class, but some people didn't seem to remember that we will be using inches for all of our measurements and not centimeters. I know that the centimeters are a little easier to work with. Nevertheless, all the planes that we'll be making require that you use inches because some of the conversions in the instructions are not exact. So for those of you that are new to inches, let me just point out how the ruler is laid out. First thing you need to be aware of is that the 0 is not the end of the wood right here. The 0 is actually this first major line. That's where the measurement starts. So you should use this first big line right here as your 0, not the end of the wood. Next, the 1 inch, of course, is right next to the 1. It's the big long line, and those are the major demarcations that signify inches. The next longest line is for half of that, or 1/2 an inch. The next longest line are the 1/4 inch marks, and of course there are 4 of them per inch, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. The next longest line is 1/8 of an inch, and the tiny little lines are 1/16 of an inch. So if you were asked to measure something like 3/8 of an inch, you would come in 1, 2, 3 to this point right here, which would indicate 3/8 of an inch, or 5/8 of an inch would be this far over here from one of the inch marks. Well, that may be too much review for some of you, so let's just dive in. I have here in front of me the instructions as given to you on the PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to read them and then demonstrate them so that you're very clear on what is expected. Step number 1 involves the measuring and marking of the various pieces from a single sheet of paper. Now if you look at the PowerPoint, and we're going to alternate in this video between my demonstration and the actual screens that you would see in the PowerPoint presentation, you'll see that the paper is cut into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections as follows. First, we draw a line down the middle. Well, the paper is 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches tall. So we're going to draw it right down the middle. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So I put my ruler right on there and make a mark at 4 inches and 1/4, which is right there. Make another one down here at exactly the same place. 4 1/4. Then connect them using the ruler. Now a trick is to put your pencil on one of them, put the ruler up against it, and then line up the other one. And that way it's a little easier to line up than lining up 2 holes simultaneously. So there's a line down the middle of the page at 4 1/2. And then we come in 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. So that would be 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 would take us out to 3 1/2. And do the same over here. Remember, you want to be sure and measure, line up with this line right here rather than the end of the ruler, because that's where the 0 is. So 1 inch, 2 inches, and 3 1/2. And then we would connect those. There's too much. There's 3. Okay, next is to take our trusty kindergarten scissors and separate out those 5 pieces. Okay, now I have all the parts just like this, as it says in the instructions. So we finished step 1, and we move on to step 2. Step 2 says, to make the fuselage, fold piece A, that's this piece here, fold piece A in half vertically, so we're going to call this vertically, using a valley fold. A valley fold means that when you're done folding, you fold it up and toward you so that you've got a valley in your hands. A mountain fold is when you fold it down like this so that you've got a mountain sitting right in front of you. So valley fold, mountain fold. So we want a valley fold in half vertically. So I'm going to take this and fold it in half. See the little V for valley? Put the tips together and then gradually work that down so that it stays even all the way down. Can't rush this part, this is crucial. So it's exactly in half, like that. You may want to take something smooth and run that along the crease to make it razor sharp. Very good. So we've done that. Then it says unfold, measure from top, and valley fold as shown. So now they're asking us to make a mark 1 5/8 inches from the top. So if this is the top up here, I come in and make a mark 1 5/8 inches. There's 1. 4/8 is a half, and another 8 is 5/8. So there's my mark. And then they asked me to valley fold it again. So that means valley like this. So I'm going to fold right on that line. And since it's a parallel, I can just line it up with the edge. I don't have to make a straight line all the way across. And voila. So I finished step 1. There we go. Go on to step 2. Oh, I finished step 2. Go to step 3. Step 3 says, valley fold each side so that the outer edges meet the center crease as shown. I'll take the outer edges and fold them over to meet the center crease, like that, as shown. Now as I go down this, I want to make sure it kind of stays nice and uniform all the way down. Okay, there's one. And then we do it on the other side. All the way in. Alright, that finishes step 3. Move on to step 4. Fold each side again using a mountain fold so that the outer edges meet the center crease at the back. Alright, so I'm now going to make a mountain fold using these center edges and turn them over onto the crease at the back. So let's do it like this way. Mountain fold it down like that. Like that. All the way to the bottom. Do the same thing on the other side. Mountain fold down until it meets the back there. Should have music in the background, right? Okay, then it says, then adjust the fold so that the paper looks like an upside down W as shown. Okay, if you look at the back of here, it looks like an upside down W. Well, an upside down W looks like an M. Okay, but there you can see it. Alright, and that's the way it should look. Now the next step is to do the gluing part. So then we unfold the fuselage completely and refold, applying glue to contacting surfaces as shown. Make sure the fuselage is straight. So I'm going to gently open it back up. I'm going to take my trusty glue